What?
Yeah, super, super.
So we need to pin to the top the stream, guys. So Albert and I are here streaming, and we're gonna post the video on the top. The audio is coming through from my Twitter handle. For any of the guests who are on the stage, you can stay on the stage and raise your hand, and we'll call on you as we're kicking this off. Or you can also we'll DM you the link to join the stream if you'd like to join us. So Albert, how do you feel, man? There's been a lot of work put in over the past few weeks to get to this kickoff.
Oh man, it's a ton of work. I have a new respect for people who run and organize hackathons. I mean, we thought it was going to be a piece of cake, because we've done over 20 pre-accelerated cohorts, which in total is a lot more work, but a hackathon is a lot of work in a very small amount of time. Just to give people a taste of what we're talking about, we already have 45 talks lined up for 6 days. 45 talks lined up for 6 days, and about 10 other talks being confirmed as we speak. So just sort of imagine that it's a marathon and a sprint at the same time. So we couldn't have done that without our team at the BTC Startup Lab. They've been working overtime to make sure that everything runs smoothly on the back end, so everyone gets a lot of value out of it. Yeah, and of course, thank you so much, Trevor, and all the other speakers out there, and our sponsors and our audience for being so supportive. We really couldn't have done this without this community effort. Thank you.
Absolutely. So we will post the stream up here in a second. Albert, do you want to give an overview? Oh, and guys, by the way, I did pin to the top actually the link to the Twitter space. So if you're in the audience listening, do us a favor, give us a retweet, give us a like, look at the tweet at the top, welcome more people into this space. Hopefully we have 250 signups already for this hackathon that's kicking off today. But Albert, when is the registration end for sign up?
Yeah, so we were going to cut it off this weekend that just passed, but we got so many like so many of our audience, so many builders, so many founders that said, hey, we're still we didn't have a chance to sign up, please turn it back on. So it's still on. We also got a lot of speakers saying that they're going to market to their communities to bring on all of their talented friends and builders, creators, founders to this Bitcoin Olympics hackathon. So it's actually going to keep running until look, April 11th here. So any of you guys who have not signed up, you see this bitcoinolympics.devpost.com. You can sign up right now. All right. And it's really going to be something else. We really went to great lengths to make sure that this hackathon called the Bitcoin Olympics will be better than any other hackathon in our space up to date. We want to raise the bar, and we hope in the future all the hackathons can be just as good or better.
So the end of the sign up is this weekend, or you said Monday, Tuesday, which day?
April 11th, Tuesday.
Okay, cool. So yeah, if you guys are listening and you haven't signed up yet, go click on the BTC Startup Lab Twitter handle. You'll see a link there to btcolympics.devpost. You can sign up right there. And the competition is going to run for a week and a half, essentially. We have NFT NYC next week, obviously, but it's meant to be go at your own pace program or hackathon where anyone can participate, give as many people opportunities to try to build something on Bitcoin using the new tools that we're seeing, like ordinals, DLCs, counterparty stacks, rootstock, etc. And so today is going to be the kickoff. Then we have tomorrow, we have and over the next coming 5 or 6 days, we have plenty of speakers lined up. We're going to be hosting on Twitter Spaces, and then we're going to be streaming as well, so that speakers can share their show their screen, show what they're doing, show examples. And then the conclusion will be in about 2 weeks. So not this coming Monday or Tuesday, but the following Monday or Tuesday. So that way people can work over the weekend. You can find team members to work with. And so, we have 250 participants today. We're going to be launching the Discord, I think, later today so that people can jump in there and find people to work with. And then, you have until like a few days to sign up. So tell all your friends. We're at 250 now. I think we'll probably double at least between now and then. Albert, what do you think?
Oh yeah, with the help of the community, we can double or triple or even quadruple. No problem.
Awesome. So do you want to talk a little bit about like what was the inspiration behind this? Why did you want to do this, host this?
Um, it's actually a combination of things that happened. Um, one, I think like a year and a half ago, you had inspired me about Bitcoin DeFi. That's when I joined this space. I also talked to Munib, who's the co-founder of Stacks and CEO of Trust Machines, and he was talking about how you want to make an inclusive Bitcoin ecosystem and invite not just Stacks people, but also Bitcoin Layer 1 people, Rootstock people, Lightning people, etc. And then it's sort of and through running a few all Web3 um, Bitcoin startup labs and aggregating information, I found out that wow, this Bitcoin space is so massive. And invite not just Stacks people, but also Bitcoin Layer 1 people. Whoops, just give me 1 second here. I got feedback, guys. Apologies. Let me just
I'm posting the stream right now on Twitter here.
Okay. All right. The feedback is gone. Apologies for that interrupting, guys. So Trevor was asking me where the inspiration came from. So long story short, it's selfishly motivated. We had a problem trying to find all the cool stuff on all the cool Bitcoin stuff on Google, and we found out that a lot of stuff we couldn't even Google. You can't find them on Google, right? And so what happens, and by the way, when you're first starting off with anything, it's like you're on Google and you see all this information and all of it looks pretty good. There's a learning curve in the beginning to even where you get to go up a couple levels before you can start filtering between the good and the bad information on Google, right? And then after you figure that out, months have gone by, or at least weeks, right? And then you find out, wow, there's so many gaps in my thinking. And if we're lucky, like myself, I'll know Trevor, I'll know Munib, I'll know some people who I could reach out to, right? But even after that, they don't have all the time in the world to give to me. So it's just I get this information piecemeal, and at the end of 6 months to a year, I still find myself, wow, like my understanding of Bitcoin is like very spotty, right? If this is like the entire painting, I have like spots, right? I can hack together, like I could infer like some things about Bitcoin, and I said, well, this is just like way too inefficient of a way to learn about Bitcoin and to innovate, right? Because as innovators, it means that we have to run to the front. We have to run to the front of the pack, right? And the only way we could do that is if our information is up to speed, right? So I said, hey, Trevor and I, we got together and said, how can we create a hackathon where people in just 6 days or in less than a week can get the most advanced, the most latest, the best technologies, the best insights in Bitcoin, stuff that you cannot Google, stuff that even if you had a great network, it would take you months and months, if not about a year, to piece together. And we compress it down to 6 days. And after that, the transformation will take place. And then you have another 6 days to hack out, a completely new, novel product in our hackathon, right? And meet a lot of interesting people. So this is sort of like the inspiration, right? Solve our own problem. If we were going to innovate, what do we want? We definitely want to, be part of the crowd where there's people running at the front, and also there's other talented founders and creators and builders coming together that we probably would never meet if we did not come to this hackathon.
Totally agree. And I mean, there's like a ton of people right now who are interested in building on Bitcoin because of ordinals. There's an entire blue ocean of opportunities. And I just find like it's hard to like an important role of community builders is to help channel and allocate human capital, right? So the ability for talented people to meet each other. Hosting a hackathon is a great way. It's like setting up a bat signal. It's like, hey, everybody who wants to be a builder, come here, and it's not just talking. It's like, you get to see who is serious and who is not, because anybody can talk, but few people can actually, pull out their keyboard and hustle, right, and put something together. And so, there's so many talented people in this ecosystem. There's developers, there's designers, there's business people, and you need all different perspectives. And you also need a low risk way to like kind of, date somebody essentially. Before you get married to a co-founder, you want to date them and you want to figure out how committed are they? Do you have a good chemistry together? Do you have the same values? And a hackathon is a great way a low risk way to do that, right? Because and you also get to see a lot of other teams as well. So it's like maybe you join a team with somebody and like it doesn't work out, but then you see like somebody else on a team. You're like, oh shoot, I really like that person. Like I should reach out to them, and it just gives people an excuse to like gel together and come together and like kind of take action that they otherwise wouldn't. And so it's a great way to bring the talent in the community together and then help them to solidify in a process and time that would take much that's much quicker than like, if you're just talking with somebody, maybe you're going to go back and forth for like several months before deciding to do anything. But with a hackathon, it's like, hey, let's do it now. Let's push some stuff out there. And we're almost hitting, we're about to hit 1 million ordinals, hopefully today by our show tonight. And so couldn't be a more perfect time to bring people together to build cool stuff. And Albert, we have a BitGob with his hand raised in the Twitter space. So let me give him a shot to talk here. We're going to see if it's going to go through the Zoom here. So let me know if you can hear it. Hey, BitGob, do you want to go ahead?
Yeah. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Awesome.
Let's see.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, no, I was just I think Trevor, I really agree with, a lot of your sentiment around the hackathons. I think as well, being a part of a number of different Solana, near Alt L1 sort of hackathons over the past couple of years. I think another thing that's been really, really a great piece of those events is just being able to meet, I think, people in person really as well. It's one thing to really be talking with, potential builders online. But then it's another thing to really meet these people in person, connect, have a couple meals together, and really take it, I think, a step further. It just, I know that the majority of our lives are really online now, but seeing people in person at conferences, interacting with them, seeing what they enjoy, don't enjoy, is a really, really sort of fun piece of these hackathons.
Yeah, totally agree. And there's going to be two,
sort of anymore.
Agree. And there's going to be 2 in-person hackathons as well coming up to Bitcoin Miami. So in about a month from now, there'll be, I think, the Bitcoin Builders Hackathon that's put on by a bunch of different communities. I think is Trust Machines, I think the one behind that. And then, of course, there's the Ordinals Conference Hackathon. Ragnar, I believe, is hosting a hackathon, which sounds super exciting. So this is kind of like, this is the only online virtual one, which I think allows you to reach a lot of people and kind of not have any borders. I mean, there's for Bitcoin Frontier Fund, we've invested in founders all over the world, not just in the US. There's some amazing top tier builders everywhere. They say talent is evenly distributed across the world, but opportunity is not. And so, I think the online aspect of this one will probably allow it to reach a better scale, but I agree, like you need like both, like there's the in-person hackathons are amazing as well. What do you think, Albert?
No, absolutely. I think you guys hit the nail right on the head there. I think what we can do here is maybe we should give a little taste, right? Because today's a kickoff, and after today is just going to be 6 days. It's going to be like a Bitcoin extravaganza hackathon, and so maybe we should get people's bearings and share with them sort of like an overview of what's going to happen. Let's cover some logistics so people can get excited what to look forward to, right? So I want to do some screen shares in real quick just to show you some of the speakers that are coming on, and then Trevor and I, we know them personally, so we can sort of share their backgrounds and share with everyone why we're so excited about this hackathon, right? So just to get everyone's bearings, look. Like Trevor said, we have over 200 signups already. We're probably going to get to 700 to 1,000 it's going to be a lot of people. It's going to be a lot of people, and it's look, we're going to have networking events. You're going to be added to our Discord channel later on today. You can keep joining until April 11th, which will be the cutoff. And the thing is like from April 11th, you'll begin to hack together a innovative Bitcoin project, right? When we say innovative, right, let's just start with the end in mind, right? So you'll turn it in on April 16th, which is a Sunday, and then our judges will decide who the winners are on April 17th and 18th. We'll announce on the ordinal show who all the winners are. So there's going to be over 10 tokens / cash prizes. And there's other speakers, about 30 of them have generously offered their time, 30-minute, 50-minute, 30-minute one-on-one sessions. Okay, so these are founders, these are investors, these are people on the frontier, right? And then of course, the best teams will have will get a lucky draw on these. So in total, there's going to be like 60 time slots. All right, so in all, it's going to be over 50 prizes. In my opinion, I think the time slots with these founders or these investors is much more valuable than any of the cash prizes, right? That's the first thing. The second thing is the people that you'll be meeting here are going to be, relationships are going to be more valuable than any kind of cash prize you can win at hackathon. And another thing to make all this stuff gel together is that your not only your network will be transformed, but your mindset and your knowledge will be transformed in a short amount of time. Right. So in order to prepare you for that, all right, the keyword is innovative Bitcoin project at the end of April 16th. Right. So when we say innovative, our judging criteria, what's the judging criteria for this? Innovative to me is just like 3 aspects, right? Of course, you have Bitcoin as a foundation there, but innovative means like it's got to be novel, it's got to be new, right? The second thing about innovative is it's got to be solving like a real user problem. Build something people want. Right. And
so
number 3,
not too innovative. You know what I mean? Don't be too smart for your own good.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like new, but it's practical, right? It's solving someone's problem. And the third part about innovation is like, okay, it's a proof of concept, but does it have the potential to become better or more efficient than the best existing solution? So that's like the foundation of innovation. If you can hit those 3, bars. Now, of course, you're going to listen to get insights from over 20 speakers who are on the frontier, and they're going to share different types of wish list ideas that they wish they could build if they had more time before the next Bitcoin halving. So a lot of these are going to be Bitcoin unicorn company startup ideas. This is super awesome, right? So you definitely get bonus points if your project is related to one of these wish list items, right? And of course, based on different, and you can also, because we have different technologies come together, right? You'll be learning about Lightning. You'll be learning about Stacks. You'll be learning about Rootstock. You'll be learning about Layer 1, Taproot on an ordinal side, on a DLC side, etc. Right? If you can be creative and merge different technology together, then you also get bonus points. Right? So this is going to be super, super fun. And the way we do that for you is that, well, we have 2 days of this pure business information. We have over 20 speakers, right? As I just mentioned, right? And if you imagine the Bitcoin ecosystem as a circle, right? And all of us are within the circle, and the circle is expanding, right? With every single person that comes to a hackathon, the circle is expanding. Now, the 20 or so speakers that we have lined up for the first 2 days, they're on different parts of the Bitcoin frontier, meaning that by default, if I'm on this side of the Bitcoin frontier, I can only share insights on this side of the Bitcoin frontier, right? But then other people on other parts of the frontier, imagine that for a second. 2 days, you're gonna have like a very clear structure of what's going on in the Bitcoin space, right? And that's just the first 2 days. Right? And the second 2 days is going to be just as amazing. Trevor's going to talk about how to create not just a team for your hackathon, because the minimum requirement for a hackathon is you have to have 2 people, maximum team size is 5 people, right? 2 to 5 people.
Right.
He's going to tell you.
Try not to build on your own, basically. We highly recommend form a team.
It's like competition is about collaboration first, right? You gotta collaborate if you want to be competitive, right? So Trevor is going to share the secret sauce with you, what it means to not just have a hackathon team, but potentially a team that potentially could turn into a startup team, right? And then we're going to have a panel. Trevor's going to be a panel, and a couple of other seasoned serial entrepreneurs who now also have their own venture funds, and they're all the managing partners. They've all invested at least in 30 plus Bitcoin startups, right? Bitcoin-based innovation startups. And they're going to come together and they're going to talk about, hey, how do you turn this hackathon project into a startup so you can be more forward thinking, right? Including, for the master himself, Trevor, the next step is about build something people want, right? How do you, in a very short amount of time, how do you quickly validate an idea, right? This idea is what your team will be gathering around, right? And then the last 2 days of the 6 days coming up, April 10th and 11th, is a marathon of 20 different talks, right? Talking about all the different types of the latest Bitcoin tech stack, right? Again, from Lightning, from Rootstock, from Stacks, from L1, Ordinals, etc. Right? And then so in a very short amount of time, you're going to have all these different tools to build with, right? And then you as a creator, as a builder, you and your team, you decide which tools you're going to use to make that final product that you're going to deliver on April 16th. So I hope that, let me pause there for a second because that's quite a lot to take in. Let's jam on that for a second. Are there any questions on that? Trevor, was any of that, should we double click on anything?
Yeah, and I think a couple people told me they just joined. They're waiting in the waiting room for the Zoom. I don't know if you got a bunch of people waiting. You can't tell who it is, but do you see Post? Do you see BitGod there? Or?
All right, let me. I see Post. Let's bring on Post.
Awesome. Yeah. So to recap, today is the kickoff. Do you have a schedule on your screen that you wanted to share? Or?
Yeah, we could get some people excited here. Hold on.
Yep. So today is the kickoff. We have content for the next 2 days, which is meant to inspire people on what ideas are low-hanging fruit. Part of the philosophy of what Albert and I do is to try to help startups be as successful as possible by not wasting their time and by getting as much data from the market about what the market wants. As a founder building something, you're not going to release something that's going to, people aren't going to necessarily already want. Like, I think Ordinals is an interesting exception. It's like one of those really rare times where, multiple factors, like the perfect storm of factors came together at once. Like, as a founder, that's most likely not going to happen to you, where the perfect storm of factors and your timing is perfect. It's much like a better strategy to like find especially the people who are already building tooling in the space and find out what are their biggest pain points and then build something to solve that. That's like a guaranteed 10 times out of 10 way to succeed. Whereas the type of success from a project where you kind of put on the blindfold and swing for the fences and you actually hit the ball and it goes out of the park without any market testing or validation or inspiration from people who have problems on the ground is one a year. You know what I mean? Like Ordinals is one of those things like where among the thousands of things that'll launch this year, it's going to be the 1 or 2 or 3 where the perfect sum of factors came together. And so that's not a strategy, you know what I'm saying? Like and I think Ordinals did hit a key market need, right, as a protocol that other developers can now build on top of. But if you say like, oh, well, how would you have validated like that as a business idea? Well, there's a couple of different ways, but obviously I think it's developed by someone who, Casey, who is an expert in the space and, identified what some of the problems were with the NFTs as we've come to know them and tried to solve them with Ordinals. I see Post is here.
Let me add to that. I want to call it right now. This Ordinals, turning NFTs into Ordinals phenomena. I'm going to call it from our point of view right now, it looks like a tidal wave, but in 6 months time and 1 year, we'll find out that it was just the first tidal wave of many massive tidal waves, right? It was like there was like this dam, right? All this pressure that was being built up, right? People in the back of our minds, we knew Bitcoin was a big thing, but it wasn't really fully realized. But Ordinals is like that dynamite that cracked open the dam. Okay. And this is just the first wave. as you will see very soon in the next 2 days, the inspiration you'll get and the technologies that you'll be able to build with, you'll see that this is just the tip of the iceberg. This is the tip of the iceberg, and the best is yet to come. Let me pause here for a second because I see some people trying to log onto our Zoom. I apologize. We sent an email. You guys go to the YouTube. The Zoom today is just meant for the speakers. That way we can it'll be easier to manage. So if you're interested, you can definitely get the full experience on YouTube, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, whatever social media channel you wish to use. I recommend either going to the Twitter Spaces where you'll find a link pinned to the top, or you could just go to YouTube and search Bitcoin Olympics or Bitcoin Startup Lab, right? And you'll find this live stream there. Okay, great.
Or just join the Twitter space. I've pinned it to the top. So if you go to the Twitter, BTC Startup Lab or @TO, you'll see I'm in there, and then you can just look at the tweet pinned to the top. I pinned the live stream. So if we screen share, it's going to be pretty useful for you, but otherwise you can just listen on the Twitter space. Please retweet, share the Twitter space, get more people involved. Today is the kickoff for the BTC Olympics hackathon, but it is going to be a 1.5 week long hackathon where the next few days are going to be about inspiration, about finding team members. And then I think the team submission is early next week on Monday or Tuesday. Yep, correct. And then basically have until the following Saturday or Sunday to submit your project on the DevPost website. They'll be judging. We'll announce the winners live on the Ordinal show, and you have a ton of prizes, cash prizes, mentorship prizes, etc. So it's super exciting. And we have Post up here on the Zoom now. Post, what's going on?
Oh, it is going pretty well, guys. I'm excited.
Welcome,
I'm excited to see
Post.
what people come up with.
Thank you. Post. Post, I got a question for you and Trevor. And the question is, like, how does it make you guys feel when all these different tribes of Bitcoin are coming together for probably the first time publicly to exchange information? Now, before you guys answer that question, let me share a screen so you guys have a full visual of all the people that's coming, right? And there are also people that are signing up. So this is actually just a partial list of what's happening right now. So let me share a screen, and then keep in mind that question because I want to hear your opinion and your thoughts. All right. Are you guys able to see this?
Yep.
All right. Is it showing up on a live stream?
Yeah, I would assume so. Yeah.
It is indeed. Yeah.
I can see choose your theme right now on your screen.
Yeah. So okay, great. So day 2, which is tomorrow. These are all the different speakers here, and we have representation from Stacks, from
Albert. I think there's on your screen. I can see like the keynote choose your theme window. So it's not showing the. Okay. Yeah. Now full screen. Now full screen.
Oh, you see full screen?
Hit play.
All right.
There you go. Oh, no. It's like when you start a new Keynote project, like I think you need to alt tab to find that window, because like when you start a new Keynote project, it opens like pick your theme.
All right. Well, let me just start over on that. One more time.
This is like the first time we're doing an online hackathon like this. I think it's a very entrepreneurial effort on Albert's end, like doing the Twitter Spaces and also doing the live stream and the Zoom. Like it's been we're figuring out the logistics a little bit as we go here, building the plane as it takes off. But I think we'll get it down well.
All right, let's see.
And the winner of the hackathon is the best keynote presentation software.
Right.
The winner of the hackathon is someone who can make a tool that combines Twitter Spaces and Zoom and live streaming and Keynote.
Yes. And then
just kidding, don't do that.
All right, let's try it again here. We restarted. How's that?
Perfect.
All right, good. All right. So I don't even really know where to start. We couldn't even fit all the speakers up here for the second day. We have over 12 speakers now. It's going to run from 8 a.m. to like 3 p.m. Pacific time.
Wow.
Yeah. And so this is a short list of all the people that are coming up, right? So of course, Trevor and I are going to be kicking off. Phil from Arcadico, who's a lending DeFi protocol, right? Tycho, who's building on Bitcoin, doing a different type of lending protocol and sharing technology called Magic Protocol. Zach, he's going to be coming in talking about Lightning. Adele's going to be talking about Taproot and Bitcoin, building layer one and deals discrete lock contracts. Muneeb, obviously, I think most of you know Muneeb, co-founder of Stacks and CEO of Trust Machines, is going to be talking about his experience building on L1 and Stacks and beyond. And I think he's going to do some alpha drops. Jordy, who's merged Bitcoin, ordinals, and advertising space together. And the list just goes on. And of course, like let's not forget we have Diego and Eden here representing Rootstock, IOV Labs, and Sovereign. So and we have Alex here representing Hero. So this is going to be a pretty big lineup. Hank is going to talk about BNS. This is going to be pretty amazing because they're all going to come into this with their again, they're all pushing the boundaries of the Bitcoin frontier, and they're all going to share their insights on what could be potentially built. If they had more time, what would they build? You know, before the next Bitcoin halving? It's going to be amazing, right? And this is just the business part. We haven't gotten to the tech part yet. Day 3, the theme is ordinals and Bitcoin innovation. So we think this is a great counterpart to day 2, which is more about Bitcoin DeFi and infrastructure, right? So we have Trevor there in the center, but you know, thanks to Trevor, we have a really great lineup of many of the pioneers in the ordinal space, right? Let's take a look. Let's take a look here. So we got Ken who's doing the wallet, right? They're one of the leading wallets now for Xverse, right? We have Post, which is on the call with us.
The legend himself. Post, what is your avatar about? Like, it's like, what's your avatar, man?
You talking about the one I'm using on Twitter or the Discord one the one we use for this? Okay, the one on screen. Yeah, it's just it's like a little piece of AI art thing that I made that was just like kind of riffing on the name Post Fun. I don't know. I was bored one day and playing with Midjourney, and that came out, and I liked it.
So
cool.
I heard
it's like an all-knowing cowboy who is from the a transcended being.
Yeah, it's like
I'll take it, I guess.
Yeah, it's very like it feels like one with the universe, right? Yeah, but I heard Post that did I catch you correctly that you might do video on for this talk?
I very well may. I had planned on doing a video segment on the 11th on like the briefing day or
okay. All good.
The docs begins.
Yeah, and so okay, let's continue. We'll see. Maybe we won't get a surprise from Post here. Trevor, I think you're actually more qualified to talk about day 3. Why don't you do a quick intro to sort of give a brief background of these people, these awesome speakers, so people know like what to expect.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you guys know Leo, my co-host for the Ordinal Show. His background is as a software developer as well. He also launched Ord.io, which is a cool curation website for ordinals, for communities can upvote different ordinals. And so he's a builder himself. He's also got his he's plugged into the space, everything that's happening. We have Patrick Stanley, who created BTC.news, who's also a prolific angel investor, and he's been a builder in the space for a decade, starting from Blockstack, which was identity and sort of a Bitcoin L1 protocol that ended up becoming Stacks. Cypher, everybody knows him, and Impost are kind of the Bonnie and Clyde of the Ordinals Discord in terms of all the things that they do to help people, and as well a builder in his own right in the space. We've got Far, who is the artist behind Taproot Wizards, and also a entrepreneur, a PhD at Harvard, an engineer. He used to be an architect, so like seriously talented Renaissance man. His startup is funded by Andreessen Horowitz as well. So like he's a super badass dude who's going to talk about like, and he's building as well something in the ordinal space. So he's going to talk about like what opportunities he sees. We have John Ennis, the CEO of NeoSwap, which is an amazing swapping platform for NFTs and ordinals that allows you to like swap simultaneously with 20 people up at the same time. You can imagine every single speaker here has a different ordinal, and there's no one-to-one trade that they would actually take. Well, NeoSwap allows them all to like collectively pool what they're trying to buy and sell, and then there's an AI algorithm that will arrange like trades where every single person gets something that they want. And then
on that note, Trevor, so John is going to represent a pretty interesting facet of the Bitcoin frontier, which is the intersection between Bitcoin, blockchain, and artificial intelligence. So he's going to bring that into play and talk about how that's going to also contribute to transferring this industry. So I'm really looking forward to that talk as well. Back to you, Trevor.
Yeah, and then we have Jamil, the CEO of Gamma, who's he's actually from Stanford, worked at Apple, was doing, I believe, machine learning at Stanford in his master's program before, getting into being a builder in the NFT space. And of course, we have Anatoly, who's another CEO building GameFi in the Bitcoin space. So it's a stacked lineup of different founders and builders with a diverse set of backgrounds. And so if you want to be a builder, like, man, like if I was just starting out as a builder and I could get advice from any of these people, like even, a few minutes, I think it'd be invaluable.
Yeah. And then let me, super. I mean, let me just share a little bit, I'm just going to pick one at random. Let's just pick Anatoly because he's the last one you talked about, Trevor. So Trevor mentioned that Anatoly is building with GameFi, with Bitcoin, and for their crash course, Tech Day, right? Not the first 2 days, but the day 5 and day 6, they're going to show you how to use Unity, their SDK, and build a game in a matter of hours. All right. Now, if you spend 6 days on it, it's going to be pretty cool. It's going to be pretty cool. And I could just, I can't even imagine, plus all the other technologies that are coming into play, like Rootstock, Lightning, Stacks, etc. Like how people are going to mix and match and bring that all together. And maybe you might even be able to mix in artificial intelligence. This is going to be like insanely awesome. I'm like, I can't even begin to imagine what the products are going to be. All right. So like this is day 4, right? I'm going to be moderating a panel with Trevor, Tom, and Jonathan here. They're all serial entrepreneurs, and they are all managing partners of their VC funds now. And they all have at least 30 plus investments in this space under the belt. So this is, again, leading the pack, early stage investors. I think, especially the early stage investors who are also entrepreneurs, that's a very rare breed. And to have 3 of them on stage at the same time, that's like just amazing to me. I wish when I started as an entrepreneur 20 years ago, I wish that I had access to all this, but no, I had to piece it together over years and years. And I think Trevor, you probably are in the same boat as me, right? Like we had to piece this together. It wasn't handed to us like this. So I know you're excited about this too. Okay. And of course, for those of you who know Trevor, he's one of the masters of Lean Startup. He brought the Lean Startup methodology leaps and bounds after Steve Blank gave it to Eric Ries, and then Eric Ries trained Trevor, right? And then Trevor took it to another level. So he's going to give a crash course on making sure that, the idea that you're building on, even for the hackathon, is something that's valuable, right? Has got market value. This is also going to be really cool. This is going to be happening on Sunday. Okay. So day 6 and day 7, we're not going to get into this too much, but day 6 and day 7, it's all about, these are like technical walkthroughs, right? There's going to be screen sharing. How do you set up the environment? What documentation should you have? How do you use our API? How do you use these tools, right? And again, we're going to have stuff from Stacks, from Rootstock, from Lightning, from DLCs, from Ordinals. It's going to be like a full 360 view of the technology, right? And again, if you want to try to piece this together yourself, it'll probably take you months, if not the better part of half a year, right? And that's if you drop everything. So just imagine just getting this like concentrated dose of this in 2 days, right? So there's 2 days of this. Again, like it's going to be around DeFi, around ordinals, around stuff that you probably haven't even heard of. All right, so stay tuned. Stay tuned. This is going to be insane. All right, so guys, again, if you guys have not signed up yet, btcolympics.devpost.com. You can scan this page, sign up by April 11th. You know, as Trevor already mentioned this in the tweet, but yeah, you can go to BTC Startup Lab, and you can also find the link there. Twitter at BTC Startup Lab. Okay. So let's go back. Let's go to question. How do you guys feel about these different tribes coming together? Like just internet check right here. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. Yep.
All right, good. So I mean, I don't. I'm trying to like contain my excitement here, but it's for the first time ever, right? We have different tribes of Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin people coming together to share. I mean, it's like the Olympics. It's like the Olympics, right? The Olympics is like you have a bunch of countries that, you know, some of them get along, some of them don't get along, right? But when it comes time for Olympics, everyone puts their differences aside, trains for it so they can put their best foot forward, and they compete in good sportsmanship, right? And after the competition, no matter what happens, everyone has leveled up. Everyone has leveled up in a major way, right? And I feel that it brings us one step closer to a sustainable Bitcoin economy, in the sense that like our people are more and more global citizens, right? So if we take this context into the Bitcoin economy, into the Bitcoin universe, right? And talk about the different tribes of Bitcoin as different countries, like the Olympics. Like, how do you guys feel about this? You know, what are you guys? You know, what are your initial thoughts, Trevor? You want to go first, and then I want to hear post thoughts on this too.
Yeah, you know, I think that like previously they've been like different tribes, as you say, but there's no reason to be, right. Like I think the biggest tribe should be the Bitcoin builder tribe. You know what I mean? There's like a builder tribe and an anti-builder tribe, or a talker do nothing tribe. And there just needs to be one giant builder tribe on Bitcoin that includes all of the different technologies and tools, Lightning, Stacks, Rootstock, Counterparty, Ordinals, you know, L1, everything. Like I think it's just like as many builders come together, there's so many different ways to tie in all these tools on Bitcoin to solve problems. You should never be married to a single tool. You should always be polyamorous with the tools that you use and try to figure out what's the best tool for the job, for the use case that you're trying to achieve. And nobody knows. Like it's going to take exploration. It's going to take trial and error. It's going to take experimentation for people to figure that out. And that's what this hackathon is all about, is to figure out what are the unique aspects of any given tool and how do you tie them together. You know, like Ordinals obviously has a massive growing user base and excitement and momentum. You know, there's been builders who've been building for years in many different ecosystems. And the more that these tools can work together, you know, like the tools we don't want to be using are like the centralized tools, like the old DNS.com system. We want to have decentralized domains, right? We want to have, you know, we don't want to have centralized storage of data. We want decentralized storage of data. We don't want to have, you know, centralized assets, you know, like if you're building a game, we don't want to have like, you know, the server assigning ownership to people. We want to use all the tools for identity, you know, payments, scalability, name systems, smart contracts, you know, and there's a pros and cons to all the different tools. And so the more experimentation and cross-pollination that we have, I think there'll be really unintuitive breakthroughs in terms of what people build.
Yeah, no, I love the way you put it, polyamorous, and then you paused, right? Because that sort of creates the visual in people's minds, but we're talking in the context of Bitcoin innovation there. So just to be clear, guys. So,
yeah, and I mean, even in general, like, you know, like just the reason I love Bitcoin is because I think it's the best sound money. You know what I'm saying? As a technology, like you shouldn't get wed to any like ideology or, you know, too emotionally invested to your identity in like a brand, right? Like you want to be able to look at things objectively. Like, you know, like if I didn't play around with Ethereum and what's going on there, I would have no vision for what is possible in the next era on Bitcoin.
Yeah, that's a good point you bring up. It's almost like ordinals it becomes a no-brainer. Like, oh, the same NFT created on Bitcoin is much more valuable, right? It's, you know, like if you want to be like the top notch of something, then do it on Bitcoin. And the same logic will hold true for DeFi and other types of Web3 applications. So it's almost like Ethereum and the other blockchains and other chains. And it was one big social experiment to show us what works and what didn't work, so we can make it even better on Bitcoin, which is the final frontier, in my opinion. So, I mean, speaking of the final frontier, after this, I definitely want to ask what your vision of like how you see you know, how you visualize, like, you know, if we fast forward 5 to 10 years from now, what does a sustainable Bitcoin economy look like, right? But before we get to that, let's ask Post what he thinks about all these tribes getting together, right? Post.
I've been extremely excited about it, man. You know, like it was a trope for a while that everything was sort of a Bitcoin test net, right? And especially as developer onboarding over the years has been like really successful, people have discovered that like in this blockchain world, there's like, you know, very lucrative product development tracks to get into. Networks that make that developer onboarding process easier, you know, have a scriptable programming language, you know, offer global state. Maybe they have like a little more intuitive setup for data provisioning. Those things have become extremely popular and very successful in developer onboarding. And to have this opportunity where developers kind of get shook up a little bit and are like, oh, I need to figure out how to get these product classes, how to get these things developed on Bitcoin so I can, like, you know, take advantage of this sort of emerging market related to ordinals and all the other things that are going on. I think it's really, really exciting and very, very cool to see. I've noticed that a lot of developers who, you know, took up, you know, contracts or positions in other companies on other blockchains have sort of started migrating back. There's a lot of attention on what I like to call Bitcoin grandpa. Like there's a lot of attention back on grandpa. And, you know, like you mentioned the, you know, like pooled swaps sort of mechanism that, I forget who it was you noted was building that. You know, like that's a really, really great case of something that, you know, even as short as 2 months ago, if you had told people like you can do these kinds of things on Bitcoin, they probably would have been like, no, you can't. You know, like you need Turing completeness and you need solidity. You know, you need these things. But if you really start to look at sort of the mechanism design, the idiomatic differences in it, there are like a lot of really, really exciting things you can do. And to see, I don't know, like the number of people I've talked to that, you know, have strictly developed on Solana and are now like, you know, really, really eager to learn, like, okay, how do I do this on Bitcoin? It's inspiring. It's awesome. There's a lot of great energy behind it, and I look forward to it a lot.
Yeah, super, super. I could sense your excitement. I think I speak for most of the speakers here. I'm really excited to hear what everyone has to share, because I know that you know, the more I learn, the more I realize I don't know. And opportunities like this, I just jump on them because they're going to be sharing with, you know, what is current, what is now. And really without, you know, we're all in different parts of the frontier. And by default, if you're on one side of the frontier, you don't really have like full visibility of what's going on the other side. So this is like a golden opportunity. Hopefully, you know, everything goes well. And we're going to do it again a few months from now, right? And then we'll get another snapshot, because this space is just so fast, right? I mean, in just 2 months, what happened in ordinal space? Trevor, can you give a brief summary? I mean, like, I think this is going to be like the norm, like moving forward. Like, give us a snapshot. What happened? Was it January? The end of January it was launched, right? And we're like two and a half months into it. Not even 3 months, right?
Mainnet was January 20th. And it's been a hockey stick. We're hitting 1 million inscriptions. I think tonight, hopefully by the time of the ordinal show tonight, we'll hit 1 million inscriptions. But yeah, I mean, there's some tweets yesterday where it's like, oh, Balaji was right, but it wasn't Bitcoin $1 million. It was Bitcoin 1 million inscriptions. Like I thought that was a good one. So yeah, I mean, listen, like, it goes back to the meme that I made where I said, hey, it's the meme of that, like there's like a yacht and it's like a really nice yacht. And then up to that yacht pulls up a mega yacht, which is like, 10 times the size. And it's like, hey, the first yacht, that's the ETH whales buying NFTs. And like the mega yacht is like the BTC whales buying ordinals, and we haven't seen, that yet. I mean, we're still behind Ethereum in market volume. And I think, we don't necessarily need to surpass Ethereum in market volume for NFT trading. But ordinals is already number 2, I guess, depending on the day, right? So I think
we don't, Trevor, but it will. I mean, let's just be honest.
I mean, I think, like, I talked to the CMO of CryptoSlam. He told me that ordinals were number 2 in market volume trading. I haven't seen that data, so I don't want to say that it's consistently number 2. But maybe, if we look at the past few months, it's definitely up there, and it's only going to keep growing. And the cap for ordinal market volume to grow is higher than Ethereum. I mean, there's 2.2 times the liquidity in Bitcoin. So that cap in that market ceiling is way higher, and we barely scratched the surface of it. Yeah, there's like so many areas to build, so many opportunities. So if you're like a developer, like this is your unfair advantage, in the market now. And it's going to take a while. Like, I wouldn't expect like, hey, you're going to come in overnight success. But if you look at a company like OpenSea, which is just absolutely killing it. I mean, they started, I believe, like 2014 or 2015. They've been at it for a while. They've been at it for at least a long time, more than half a decade building. And now they're reaping the rewards of that preparation, and that, if you can identify a truth in the market, it'll eventually come true. And so it's just about, can you do that or not? Right. And it can be hard as a first time builder to like know if you're on the right track, but eventually your judgment will increase over time. Like the more you ship, the more you build, you'll just get better and better and better. And eventually you'll have your day.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, I know you're just trying to be modest, Trevor, but I'll just say, you said the ordinals, they don't have to pass ETH trading, but on this trajectory, it looks like it's going to pass it in under a year, if this hockey stick keeps going. But there's no signs of it slowing down. So, and let me point out I've been doing some research here, and I think a lot of people might have the same information, but just in case you don't, Trevor mentioned, Bitcoin does have over 2 times the liquidity of Ethereum, but keep in mind that Ethereum owns like 90-something% of the DeFi, and Bitcoin owns less than 1% of the DeFi. Now, imagine like during this hackathon, right? There are definitely going to be some projects that are going to be the next Bitcoin unicorn companies in Bitcoin DeFi. And when you like Ethereum as asset class is what, it's like over 200 billion, but Bitcoin is at least double that. It's over double that, right? And it has less than 1% of DeFi. Now, what will happen to the entire crypto ecosystem when Bitcoin has just as much DeFi products and services and products as Ethereum? I'm going to make a call right now. Bitcoin is going to have 99% dominance, right? And then it's going to take over, right? And it's going to be the main one. That's it, right? And this hackathon, I believe, for a lot of people, is going to be ground zero to help build that foundation. I'm excited about that. So on that, I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag. What I see as the new sustainable Bitcoin economy, because I'd much rather hear from people smarter than me. So Trevor and Post, please share your thoughts. How do you, let's say, in the future, what does a sustainable Bitcoin economy look like?
Yeah, I mean, if developers are curious what sort of the market potential is here, consider the fact that all of the growth that we've seen, all of the progress that we've seen, has all taken place just in 2 months, right? And if I'm really looking at this sort of asset class, I see like a solid 2 years of development paths in front of us to continue improving. And in those 2 months, every single thing that has happened Like let's say that none of the OTC volume even exists. Like let's just throw the OTC volume out the window. Every bit of on-chain volume, the trustless volume, the programmatic volume, every single bit of that is from a single order type, right? Our order books only facilitate one single order type right now. We have one way to do it where you list a PSBT and then someone buys from the PSBT. We haven't introduced bids. We haven't introduced auctions. We haven't, there's like a million things that we haven't introduced that will create further liquidity services, that will, start up more volume, that will continue to impress people on what the functionality and feature set that can be built on top of Bitcoin is. I see nothing but blue skies, probably for the next 2 to 2.5 years.
Super inspirational. What about you, Trevor? What do you like? How do you envision this sustainable?
I love how bullish you are, Albert. I don't think that Bitcoin DeFi needs to replace Ethereum DeFi, but I do think that a parallel ecosystem is extremely healthy for the space. I think that people underestimate how much these different chains benefit from each other. Like, it's a good thing for Bitcoin there's an Ethereum. It's a good thing for Ethereum there's a Solana. And it's a good thing that there's choices for consumers and for users. And, I do think Bitcoin DeFi will probably be bigger than Ethereum DeFi. I don't know about the NFTs, but I think DeFi would have a better chance because of the soundness of Bitcoin as an asset and the desire for like large institutions, governments, nation states, et cetera, to hold it. I do think on the metric of where will the most valuable non-fungible assets be, I think that will also be on Bitcoin. Like, I think we will have, we have Bugatti coming in here, right? Like Bugatti launching with Asprey, like this amazing collection with on-chain monkeys. And so we will see very, very high-end luxury non-fungible assets on Bitcoin. Whether that will lead to higher market volume than Ethereum is debatable for me. But like you said, like Bitcoin DeFi is like 1% of compared to Ethereum right now. Like, so imagine when the NFT bull market first kicked off, it was like you could be the dumbest trader and you could be in the green, like trading. You could be making money on like the worst trades ever. And now, as the market has matured on Ethereum, it's much harder. It's like you have needed much more skill, much more effort. And as an entrepreneur, like the best thing you can do is try to find an easy way to do something difficult, to find the easiest opportunity that can be big. And I think that's there's no question that's building on Bitcoin right now, because the growth potential, there will be some real monster companies created, and then there will be a lot of other startups who will be successful, be acquired by those other companies. There'll be a ton of VC coming to the space. We've been seeing it accelerate. And so if you're a builder and you want to be taking asymmetric bet with like the highest upside possible and maybe the lowest risk to reward ratio, I think building on Bitcoin is the place to be.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's. I mean, I agree with 99% of what you said. Definitely, I think we were different. I think this is what's going to be really interesting about the next few days, is that there's going to be so many different ideas and perspectives going on. Like for me as an entrepreneur, in my experience, if you're around the right people, if you have the right mentors, like Trevor, Post, and all the other speakers coming on, if you have access to other talented and motivated people like yourself, in my experience, money, even if you lose it, it comes back so fast. But there is one resource that never comes back, and that is time. That is time, right? We haven't cracked the code for time yet. We just have this much time, this much vigor, energy to be entrepreneurs. And whenever you embark on an adventure, like what Trevor was saying, for the ratio and time value, you come to the best place, right? And so it really becomes a game of focus at that time. Like, ask yourself, if you want to build the next DeFi, would you rather have your decentralized bank be based on Bitcoin or another asset? I think the answer is clear, right? And in that way, in that way, you can really de-risk yourself. What do you want to go all in on, right? If you feel it in your gut what's correct, spend time on it. Get connected in the right circles, meet the right people, and start building. Start building. This hackathon is meant for that. I think we're coming up on time, but let me I'd like to make a shout out to to our to our sponsors and our prize donors. Shout out to and you know we don't have this in any kind of particular order here. Let me just go. Let me try to do this by alphabetical order, right? So the first up is Bifari, Jordy, CEO and co-founder there, on the frontier of advertisement, ordinals, and Bitcoin. He's come up with a prize sponsor. It's a pretty cool one, but we won't steal his thunder. We're gonna leave it to him to share that with you tomorrow, and then coming up. Oh, sorry, not enough buck order. Arcadico Philip, who's also awesome founder. He's going to be sharing his knowledge in this space. Gamma from Jamil, right? We also have Rootstock. Rootstock gave up like quite a considerable amount of prizes for this hackathon. We also have to give a shout out for Stacks Foundation for helping fund part of the operations up front, right? So shout out to them. Of course, we have Prime Force, right? Anatoly on the border of GameFi, Bitcoin, and Unity. That's going to be really fun. They have prizes up. Startup Labs. This is Set Zeus, their dev shop. They gave us some prizes, and Mechanism. Shout out to Jeff and Hank there. They're going to give out a couple of pretty big prizes, and of course, last but not least, we have Hero. Hero has also given out prizes, and quite a few of them too. So I'm really looking forward to it because they all have different criteria, but the underlying truth is the same. We're all looking for something innovative on Bitcoin. So whatever you build, it has to be related to Bitcoin. It has to be innovative. So one, you got to be solving like a real world problem. It's got to be practical, right? Two, it's got to be new. Don't copy something else. Be new, right? Like whatever is best in the market. Think about how you can advance beyond that, right? And number three,
new on Bitcoin. Yeah, you can copy something from Ethereum if it's really valuable and no one has done it on Bitcoin yet.
Absolutely, Trevor. Thanks again. It's a big social experiment on Ethereum and other chains, and now we can level it up with Bitcoin, all right? And the third criteria is, although this is a hackathon, you have 6 days to build your product. The main thing to know is that it's just a proof of concept, but it should be shown that there's potential that it could become better than the existing solution, be it on Ethereum or somewhere else, right? So 100%. In general, yeah, those are the criteria for being innovative, right? And keep in mind, there's going to be prizes, and I think the real prize is learning all this knowledge in such a short amount of time, and then also meeting like-minded builders, right? And also at the end, if your project is awesome, if your team really delivered, then again, there are over 50 spots where you can have one-on-ones with mentors, speakers, and investors. So I think that's the real prize, right? That's the real prize, right? Knowledge, network, peers. Okay.
How much is the cash prizes again, too? Just to remind people.
Yeah, we have over 10 cash prizes over like $1,000, either in crypto, Bitcoin, or cash. Yeah. That's
a new iPhone. That's a new not a new MacBook, because the MacBooks, man, they're getting expensive. That's half of a new MacBook, for a development environment, right? So it's small amounts, and I think that's part of the point. You should be doing this because you want to learn first and foremost, but hey, it's not bad to have a few cash prizes here and there that if you compete and you wow people, of course the non-monetary prizes will be much more valuable. And I can tell you, not only myself looking to see if I can find awesome teams to invest in out of this, but there's going to be a lot of investors kind of seeing what people are shipping and interested in. If you want to participate and you don't want to start a startup, that's fine as well. That's not the point of this. The point of this is to build cool stuff. But if you're considering it, or it's something you're interested in, there's definitely going to be myself looking very heavily to invest in the top teams coming out of this, as well as other investors.
Yes, absolutely. So there's going to be I mean, I don't want to cheapen this, but like Trevor has generously put up a few half-hour spots. So I know when I first met Trevor, it's over almost 10 years ago now, right? Trevor was charging like $5,000 an hour just to do a talk. So I mean, if you have
come on, man, don't sell me short, dude. I was charging.
yeah, what was it? Was it 10,000? I forgot what it was. Maybe half an hour is 5,000. So you get half an hour of time. That's more than any of the cash prizes alone, right? So like I think the real cherry on top is this is not to diminish Trevor. There's going to be a lot of people also equally as awesome as Trevor, but in other aspects of Bitcoin innovation, right? So any of these half hours is to me is the real prize, and probably even a bigger prize is the knowledge that you get in 6 days. In 6 days, right? Like I kid you not, you're going to compress like 6 months to 1 year of learning into 6 days. What is 6 months worth to you? What's your salary today? If your salary is 10,000 a month, 6 months is 60,000. Even if your salary is only $1,000 a month, that's still $6,000, and all that time you waste, right? But now you don't waste it. But probably like the most important thing is that you meet other peers, right? Think about 80% of the successful companies, there's always a Batman and a Robin, right? You might meet your Batman or you might meet your Robin. Like just play back the reel, right? Even Elon Musk, when he first started, he had Peter Thiel, right? Even Bill Gates, he had Paul Allen. Even Steve Jobs had Steve Wozniak, et cetera, right? So the list goes on and on. I think that's the real prize. The real prize is if you find that killer co-founder or killer partner, OMG, it's like, it's to the moon, maybe to Mars or even beyond. Okay. So stay tuned. Again, please do not miss out on this. You see the sign up is the deadline is by April 11th. Tomorrow, the festivities start for real at 8 a.m. Pacific time. And we're going to have a onslaught, like 12 awesome speakers sharing their ideas on what should be built before the next Bitcoin halving, which is happening in basically almost exactly 1 year from now, right? I think the next Bitcoin halving is going to be April 6th, 7th, or 8th, roughly, right? So it's almost exactly 1 year from now, the next Bitcoin halving, okay? So if you've been paying attention to this space, you could quickly do a quick search. If all the people who are building before the Bitcoin halving, preparing for it, and once Bitcoin halving happens, within a year and a half, it spikes, right? You definitely want to be ahead of the curve. You don't want to be like jumping on the bandwagon right when the wave is crashing, because that's too late. That's too late, right? You want to, like, this wave is coming. We're telling you it's coming, and we're giving you a surfboard. We're giving you the wetsuit. We're giving you all the equipment to surf this massive tidal wave. All right. So get in now. This is legit. BitcoinOlympics.devpoints.com. We have over 200 signups. We're expecting maybe 1,000 signups, and hopefully we get 200, 300 submissions at the end. Awesome. Trevor, Post, you guys have anything to say in closing?
I would say, guys, stay tuned for the Discord launching. So we're going to launch the Discord, jump in there. You're able to submit pitch videos. You're able to discuss with people, have mentorship in there. You can talk to about ideas. So use the Discord as the HQ. Every day there will be Twitter Spaces hosted at this same time with all the speakers. So you can just find it on Twitter. In the Discord, we'll post links to everything that you need to do. Just to like register your team, you need to use the DevPost website. It's a great tool for that. And then, like everything will be in the Discord, all the resources that you need, step by step. So just stay tuned for posting that. And it's going to be a super exciting week and a half here for everybody in the Bitcoin ecosystem.
Yeah, and speaking about posting, hey, if you're listening on this and you might not have time to contribute this time or be part of the hackathon, share it with a friend, change their life. We've created this program for the purpose of transformation, for the purpose of your transformation, right? In a very, very short amount of time. Give this gift to a friend. It will change the trajectory of their career if they put in the time and mingle with the people and watch the videos, right? And participate in the hackathon. I guarantee you, if not, you could come find me personally if you're not transformed.
If you're not transformed, come find Albert. He will chiropractic adjustment
I'll give you a massage to help you help you transform.
And there's plenty of time too. There's a week and a half. So like anyone listening, if you want to do this, like you definitely have time to participate in the next week and a half. Like it's go at your own pace. It's intentionally not meant to be something where you're coding nonstop for a week and a half. And like the winner won't be like the one who builds the most features, for sure. It'll be the one who identifies like what's most needed and creates like this most simple and elegant solution, which has nothing to do with like how much raw coding you do. It's like you don't pay a developer for how many lines of code they write. That would be like, paying an engineer for how heavy the plane is, so like if you're listening, you want to be kind of builder in the space, like now is there's plenty of time, week and a half, tons of content. Any gap, any concern or gap that you feel like you have, it can be filled in the next week and a half.
Yes, absolutely. We designed this. Not only are the speakers and the sponsors from different parts of the Bitcoin frontier, so you get that holistic picture, but also all the content, the technology, people attending, right? And as Trevor said, it's going to be very diverse. And as Trevor said, is go at your own pace. And the reason why we stretch this out, like normally like a hackathon, you have like half a day of content and then you're off to races, right? It's done in 2 days, right? This is just 6 days of content. So you have time to take in all the information, right? And then at the end of this time, you're going to have sparks, you're going to have inspirations, you're going to have epiphanies, right? You're going to have discussions with a team, you're going to meet new people, you're going to have new ideas, and then you have 6 days to build it. Normally you only have a day to 2 days. So this is going to be exciting. This is going to be really exciting. I'm looking forward to it. It's already a healthy amount of people have already signed up. But again, if you're joining, share it with a friend, do it with a friend, and if you're going on a beautiful, awesome transformative journey, definitely bring a friend along, right? And if you don't have time, hey, introduce some friends to do this. Introduce some friends to this. They will thank you later. Right? They'll thank you later. Excellent. Thank you. Looking forward to seeing you guys in the Discord, and also looking forward to tomorrow, 8 a.m. in the morning Pacific time. We're going to kick it off again. Bitcoin, day 2 of the Bitcoin Olympics Hackathon, Bitcoin DeFi Infrastructure Day. All right, looking forward to it. Thank you, Trevor. Thank you, team. Thank you, Post, and thank you, the audience, for being awesome.